Always. Heaven is waiting right here. You are enough. We are enough. We are God's instruments. So let's breathe that in as we open up in prayer this divine and holy day. Knowing that there is one heart, one mind, one life, and it is the heart, the mind, the life of the divine, and we are one with it, friends. Right here, right now. Always. So we just bless this day. We bless this divine and holy choir and their beautiful harmonies. We bless our children who are here or who are showing up in the divine right time. We bless one another who have stepped forward this day into the sanctuary, as well as those that are joining us on our live stream channels. We bless one another, and we bless our divine and holy speaker today, the amazing Linda Steiner. It is good, it is God, it can be no other way. So we say always, always. And we anchor this truth by affirming. And so it is. Amen. Oh. Well, here at the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living, we are an interfaith gathering, a spiritual community that honors all teachings and all spiritual teachers. This is the time of the season that we call the season for peace and nonviolence. And during the season, not only do we honor all paths, but we really focus on one specific path per week. And this week, we are focusing on the Hindu path of peace. And so we're going to have 2 candles being lit today, the Hindu peace candle as well as our candle of love. And we have an amazing candle lighter. She's walking up here right now. You can't see her. She's about to come into camera. Cynthia George is joining us today to light our candles. Here she is. Thank you, Cynthia, for saying yes, always. So let us begin by lighting the Hindu candle today, and their prayer for peace is follows. May all beneficent beings bring peace to us. May your wisdom spread peace through all the world. May all things be a source of peace to all and to me. Om Shanti 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 Om. Beautiful. The other candle that we're going to light today is our healing candle of love. And we invite you in the sanctuary of your own heart to bring to awareness perhaps somebody that is on your heart today, to be included in this healing candle of love and light. Let us bring them in right now. And now, friends, that our flames are fully lit, we move forward into our celebration, realizing and reaffirming that indeed all paths do lead to God. And let's give a hand to Cynthia, our candle lighter. Today we have a sacred reading, and when I tell you who our speaker is, and I did give a little hint to that earlier in the prayer, which her name is Linda Steiner. Some of you may recognize her. She has this beautiful favorite person that she likes to bring our attention to. She's this divine and holy woman. We like to call her a reverend, and her specific name is Reverend Jane Beach. And so Linda has chosen an amazing reading for us today, a sacred reading from her book called Choices. So let us steep in this reading. It's called I'm Loved Unconditionally by the Greatest Love of All. And the reading begins. Have you ever seen a baby in front of a mirror, noticing their image for the first time? Have you ever done that? The little one delights in the reflection of the person looking back, smiling and interacting, reaching out to connect to that face in the mirror. I believe that's how the beloved looks out and connects to us at all time. It knows itself through us, accepted for the one and for who we are, and loved unconditionally. We are its cherished ones, even when we're crabby and we don't feel very delightful. Today, let us take our cue from that sweet little baby and simply delight in experiencing ourselves just as we are. Just as we are. Oh, and with that, just as we are, let's hear more from our beautiful choir.
Good morning to those online. Let's see. Did you know that the power and the presence of love is exactly where you are right now? Exactly where you are. I still have God's love right here, and I moved like 2 feet. Did you see that? God went with me. So not only in every moment and every place that you are is God, but did you know that God or a universe or whatever you want to call the higher power in your life is constantly seeking your attention? How does that happen? Well, have you ever turned your face to the sun? Maybe you've pet a puppy. Maybe the perfect song on the radio comes on at just the right moment. Maybe your neighbor brings you a dinner when your fridge is empty. That is God in action. So if God is in action all the time, why does it seem so elusive? You know? Do you feel like God is with you every minute, every day? Do you feel that love and that peace and that joy running through your body every minute of every day? Everybody's like just standing there staring at me. I could use some feedback on that question. No, we don't feel like God is there right away. Well, let's have a God moment right now. Please take a minute to say hi to everybody. And God is, so I am. Please greet each other. Awesome. Oh, awesome. Now, I also want to say before I get much further into this talk is, doesn't Cindy Hensley rock? I mean, like, when I tell people I've become an accountant at a division that works with adults with disabilities, everybody looks at me like, because that is so far not who I am. But look who I get to work with. Can you imagine every Monday morning going to work to that energy and to that love and to that joy? That's why I'm an accountant now. It's all your fault. Now, religion, spirituality. Now, how many of you grew up in religion? Okay, I did too. Grew up Lutheran. And so religions have had tendency to have very specific beliefs that kind of dictate our moral compass. Yes? So there's like a lot of rules. How to do this, don't do that. There's a lot of expectations about your ethical behavior, a lot of judgment. And the answer a lot of times is pray to God. God's got this. And this is where I do a lot of work in death and dying, and the things you never say to somebody who just lost somebody, which is, oh, they're in a better place now. Oh, no. Or, there must be a reason. That's more religion. That's more, this is what people are taught to believe. That if you don't understand it and it's something horrible, and it's usually the horrible stuff, right? It's never, I won the lottery, woohoo, God brought me money. It's always, you know, my car got a flat tire and where was God for me that day? And so this religion works for a lot of people. There's so much comfort in rituals and knowing exactly what's expected of you, right? I show up on Sunday at this time, I tithe this much, I don't kill anybody, I don't swear. I know what the questions are and I know what the answers are because it never changes. And the answer, of course, is always God. Well, spirituality is a little different than that. But I kind of knew early on in my life that maybe religion, Lutheran, was not going to be for me. And it goes back to, and some of you have heard this story, I was 3 years old. It was Lent. It was a Sunday service for Lent. My family was late. We were in the back. We got there just before the processional came in. And so the priest and the candle people and all that start to process in. And what does 3-year-old Linda do? I jump up on the bench and I scream, Batman! That was kind of the first hint that perhaps the way I think may not be what other people think. And just in case it was not Batman. Batman was not there. But I think about my life. And you know that famous, footprints in the sand. Everybody knows that, 2 sets of footprints, all of a sudden there's one, and God's like, why did you leave me, God? And God's like, I carried you at that point. So why don't we get it? Why don't we get that every moment God is right there, and that the joy and the love and peace are right here? Well, I was in Vegas having a really good time at the roulette table. I was having a lot of fun. Those balls were coming my way. And then I got up and I left the table, and it wasn't even 5 minutes, and I realized I had left my phone. And I went back to the table, and it was not there. Somebody had stolen my phone. And here I am, I called the phone, and somebody answered. They answered the phone. And I'm like, hi, that's my phone. And they were like, all of a sudden could only speak Spanish. Right, so here I am in the middle of Vegas in a casino going, who speaks Spanish? I need someone who speaks Spanish. And I got this person to come up, and she starts speaking Spanish. Now remind you, the person answered the phone. Like it's not like the phone disappeared. They answered the phone. And I knew I was in trouble when the answer was, well, meet us about 2 hours from now at this remote restaurant. Oh my God. Oh my God. I was so pissed. Lost the phone. And do you know that you cannot turn your phone off if you lose it? Because what do? You have to go to your internet to get the secret code to turn off your phone. Well, when you go to the hotel computer to get the code, it's not your IP address. And so you can't use your email to get the secret code to turn off the phone that you have lost, because they want to send you the code by your phone. I may not have been feeling God at that particular moment. I have a sense that God was around me. But, oh, hi. Hi, God. Thank you. Love and acceptance. I had none of that when I lost my phone. Thank you, Joan. But it's that easy. You have an experience, and God is right here trying to direct you someplace, right? No, come. I have something for you. There's a reason for this. I don't know what the reason it was for losing my phone. Still pissed about it. But I allowed myself to come out of my peace. I gave away my joy. I gave away my happiness, and I gave away my phone. That kind of sucked. But that's the difference for me between religion and spirituality. And I actually have the definition of spirituality somewhere. See what happens when you write the talk at 2 in the morning? Spirituality is having to take personal responsibility. Oh, that's not fun. I'd rather have the rules. I'd rather have the list of rules. But no, spirituality is could I have done that situation differently? I could have. I could have stopped as soon as I knew that I lost my phone, and I could have prayed. I could have connected into spirit. I could have sat down and meditated for a little bit. How many times when you meditate do things come to you? Do people have things come to you when you meditate? I could have just been in a place where I knew that nothing but the absolute best was unfolding for me. That there was something happening greater than I was, and I didn't have the information, but God was working in the system somehow, and I just needed to remember who I was. I got pretty upset with some woman who spoke Spanish on the phone. Because it was like, you have my phone. Wait this in 5 minutes. You've got to be right here. I allowed my joy, I allowed that trip to be ruined. That entire trip was ruined. And part of it was because I was waiting for a specific message to come through. But now that I didn't have my phone, and I had absolutely no way to contact anyone, back to that IP address to get the code, to get the phone, to get acceptance. So could it be that I was supposed to just chill out on this vacation and not worry about my phone? And do you know that phones can overheat? I didn't know that. Vegas, they overheat. Something like 120 degrees, phones don't like. I might have ruined my phone anyways, but it's that, what did I choose to do when I had an opportunity and I had 2 roads to follow? What did I choose to do? Now I'm going to share a personal story, if that's okay. I had the opportunity last week to watch the most amazing and the most beautiful thing, and that Jacqueline shared with me, and I got to visit with her dad as her dad was dying. And so I got to see, I got to feel, and I got to be in the most incredible love. Because Jacqueline, once it was like, okay, this isn't going to go well, told the hospital, we're out. Bring my dad home. I'm taking care of him. I don't care what you have to say to me. I don't care what I have to do. But he's coming home. with me. And so you walk into her house and there's family and there's photos and there's so much love. And I tell you, when you get to see someone pass away surrounded by appreciation, gratitude, and the deepest love, it was magical. It was marvelous. It changed who I am. To watch a process where religion often struggles with spirituality and let's pray to God that he gets better and let's da-da-da-da-da-da. No, Jacqueline and her spirituality was like, no, we're just going to love him. We're just going to hold his hand. We're going to stroke his hair. We're going to tell him how much we love him. And we're going to let him go. And then I always ask this question when somebody passes away. I always say, so what do you think the first thing he did was he got to heaven? She was like, oh, yeah, no problem. My mother was standing there looking at him going, because he has just entered into this sanctuary of the next adventure. And she's standing there going, because he was afraid. He was afraid to go. So she's standing there going, I told you so. He just walked through the gates of paradise, and Mom is there going, I told you so. So, what an honor. And then the service yesterday, it was a lot of it was in Spanish. Couldn't understand a word. But I didn't have to. I didn't have to because I was looking at people's faces. And I was looking at the hugs, and I was looking at the food people brought, and the joy that they got to come together. And through their tears, they got to celebrate. They got to celebrate this incredible man, which I'm most grateful for, because he brought me my friend Jacqueline. So think about this. I lose my phone, and I completely lose it, right? I can't function. But yet, I'm at the bedside of someone who's dying. And I'm so spiritually connected in that moment. And it was because I chose. I chose that. And so, why am I talking about this? Everybody knows this, right? I know I keep going through lessons every day. Well, I'm talking about the difference between religion and spirituality because, as Cindy said, we have got more classes than, the presents underneath the Christmas tree when I was a kid. We've got visioning, and we've got affirmations, and then we've got the Jane Beach class, which is God is, I am. And this particular class just kind of starts to break down those walls of not being connected to your own soul, not having turning to spirituality be your first call, not your last call. It's a class that reminds us who we are, which are unique, delightful, beautiful, amazing people. Are you guys amazing? I know you are. So say that to each other. You're amazing. Oh, that was really like, well, you're kind of, yeah, you're amazing. Yeah, you're amazing. Hey, do you feel amazing? No? You're amazing, Joan. Yoo-hoo! It's kind of like having a Cindy Hensley in your life every morning. It's like, it's that energy, and it's that love, and it's that understanding, and it's a peace. And there are moments in our life where it is not peaceful, it is not good. You are not feeling like dancing or laughing or celebrating. You're sad, you're hurt, something's not right. What's your choice? What are you going to choose in that moment? That's what these classes are about, is bringing you to new ideas, to new ways of thinking, to, instead of trying to run and hide from the bad stuff. I mean, how many of us does anyone else have a friend who has a tragic story, and it's been their tragic story for like 10 years? Yeah. Like every time you sit down to lunch, yeah, the water heater broke 10 years ago and I still am paying for it. You can live there if you want. And I have a feeling that we probably all have had those moments where we're just talking about, God hates me, I suck, nothing ever works. My job is horrible. My family, oh my God, and why did I marry that person? Right? So go ahead. You can live there. You can be there. If that's what you grew up with and that's what makes you comfortable. But I'm here to tell you that there's a different path. Now this path has rocks and sticks and it's uphill, and there might be a moose or two on the path. You know, if you're really lucky, there might be a bear. But we have answers. We have comfort. We have a way of looking. I had a moose this week who I had put out the breakfast for the rabbits, and not realizing the moose was right next door. And so the rabbits are out there eating breakfast, and next thing I know, I have a moose. And I was lazy, so I put the breakfast out in front of my door. So now I have a moose at my front door on its knees eating the rabbits' breakfast. And they were pissed. I was fascinated. I actually pulled up a seat to look at this because the rabbits actually conferred and did a group assault on the moose. They did. They first tried coming forward to the moose, and the moose is still, yeah, this is a good carrot. They regrouped, and they went after its butt. That moose moved. And the rabbits are like, hey, yeah. Woohoo, yeah. Of course, there's nothing left by that time, but. How you look at your life, if you wake up and you find that more days than not, it's not good, or if something happens that's not great, and the first thing you do is fall into the hole of complaining, the not enoughness, God sucks and I'm the number one target. Take a class. Take a class. You can do a class in person here with me and Judy. You can take a class with Batman and Robin, otherwise known as Kaleem and Bob. You can either be here in person or you can be on Zoom. All of Tony's classes are on Zoom. There's not an excuse in the world that there's a day or time that you can't take a class, because we have it all covered. Because we know this is successful. We know that classes can change you. It changed me. I gotta tell you, when I walked through that door a couple of centuries ago, I was not the person that I am today, and thank God for that. So, in finality of this, there's no place. There's absolutely no place where God is not. You can't run, and you can't hide. What you can do is try to get closer to the God of your understanding. The God of your understanding. Come into the class where you are, and we'll take you down the steps. Because leaning into faith will change your life. Namaste. Thank you.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful talk, Linda. So on that, friends, let us take this time and drop into that whole and holy space. And if you're a practitioner and you'd like to rise up and surround this amazing congregation, let us do so together. If you're online, I invite you to open up your hearts and your minds and let us pray. So what I know, friends, right here and right now is that there is that one glorious light, that one glorious heart that we call good, that we call God. It goes by many names. Right here and right now, I'm going to refer to it as divine and holy love. And what I know about love is that love is light, love is harmony, love is peace. And so as we lean in and we recognize this love within each one of ourselves, individually and collectively, as we know that divine and holy love right here and right now, we offer up this time of prayer for those who are maybe experiencing something different in their lives. Perhaps there are those who are experiencing this sense of lack. And what we know is that we lift them up and we affirm abundance. We affirm the glory of the divine itself right here and right now for each person. For those people who are experiencing something that looks unlike divine and perfect health, we see their body temples brought to that amazing blueprint that is the truth of who they are. Because what we know is that God is and I am. God is and we are. For those people that might be experiencing, just a rough and bumpy part of their relationship, what I know is that God's heart is big enough. Our heart is big enough because God is and we are, friends. God is. I am. We are one. One united state of consciousness, and we call it a consciousness of love, friends. Right here and right now. We enter into this day and we go forward into this day knowing that truth. We relax. We release anything that looks unlike God itself, surrounding us, nurturing us, guiding us, guarding us, protecting us. We sit in the seat of love and acceptance, even when we lose the phone. We sit in the seat of divine and holy love and acceptance, always and in all ways. For this truth and so much more, we give great thanks. We release this divine and holy word into that sacred law that always says, yes, yes, my children, yes, I've got you. Again, it is good, it is God, it is love, and it can be no other way. So we anchor this truth this day by affirming together, and so it is. Amen.